I'm Christian Abbott.
I'm Nathan Lavender.
I'm Sean Abbott. And this is the Red Mist Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Red Mist Podcast, Season 3, Episode 46. There is only one number 46 in the world of motorsports.
Which is?
The Doctor, Valentino Rossi, and his BMW M4 GT3.
That is a really good one.
Yes, it is.
But another option, you ready?
No, there's no other option.
Moving on.
Frank
No,
Kimmel.
there was another option, but it predates Nate by years. When I was at U. Anyways, so we will stick with the Doctor, Valentino. All right, tonight's episode, we'll recap the Grand Prix in Sin City, Vegas. It was more like the Arctic. Kind of cold.
Yes, I mean, a lot of the pre-race events, a lot of people were wearing some coats.
Yeah. Were there a lot of people there?
No, there were not in the grandstands, but to certain pre-race shows, such as Sky Sports, they seem to think that there's a lot of people there.
Sky Sports, Sky Q, Sky Glass, too? If you're a Sky Q user, subscriber. When Crofty says that, get all excited. Yep. All right. We'll recap that. A world championship was clinched.
The drivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drivers championship. Yes. And then we'll look ahead to this weekend. We'll have our picks for Qatar. Hope you guys have been working on them. We will have news. There was big news in Formula One, which I believe we in the Red Mist Podcast had alluded to for some time.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That it wasn't going to go away.
No, we don't. We are not a podcast that breaks news. No, we don't do that.
We speculated, and we when we speculate, we win. We're always right.
And make good predictions.
We do make good predictions. Yeah.
Just saying,
sensible predictions.
We don't break news. We create the conspiracy theories.
Yes.
That's what we do.
But we often prove that our conspiracies are true, and they do often prove out to be real. All right, so we'll go from there. We had a big driver news development in IMSA. We'll break that. Well, we'll recap that. That wasn't broken. That was recapped. And then we'll talk about one of our own. Back on track this past weekend.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And also like to welcome everyone into the Michigan State Memphis watch party that we're doing while we're recording this podcast. So
yes.
Go green, go white.
After the game that's following up a victorious CU Boulder over UConn.
Right. Go Buffs. Go Buffs. Upset. All right. Let's get into it, gentlemen. Formula One in Vegas. Where should we start?
Oh, Max is the world champion. So.
You want to go right there?
Let's go right there. He's world champion. He's done a season in not the most competitive car, so just proves Zach Brown wrong.
I just had a quick question. How many? He just had what was this? He had to outplace Lando by 3 points. What was it? Or did he just have to finish ahead of him?
I think both.
Lando had to outscore Verstappen by 3 points.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So as long as Max kept it within 3 or less for this race, he would have won.
Yeah, basically.
Which he did, because he got 10, Lando got 9.
Yeah, Yeah, the only it was pretty much Verstappen could be like one position behind Lando.
Gotcha.
For most of the point scenarios,
Yeah.
and been fine, but he he beat him, so sealed.
Beat him on a weekend when the Red Bull was definitely not in the ballpark. Nope.
It was not the car to beat.
No. Nor was the McLaren. Just to throw that out there.
No. And dare I say it, nor was the Alpine.
Yeah. The French after a somewhat you'd have to call it a victory, moral. Then threw up the white flag immensely in Vegas.
Well, not entirely.
Well, they had Pierre Gasly had an amazing P3 qualifying.
Yes, like up until the race, they were doing fantastic.
I was surprised. I was like wow. Did not see this time.
Yeah, I if we want to back up a bit, we can go back to qualifying, and Pierre Gasly putting it P3 was outstanding. I don't think that shocked me just as much as everyone else. I don't think there was anyone that didn't see that and was surprised.
Yeah, that was a complete shock. I think the biggest shock in qualifying.
Yeah.
Let alone, I mean, maybe George Russell getting the pole, but the Mercedes and Ferraris did show some pace throughout practice and qualifying.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a matter of who sits on the pole.
Right, and I guess Lewis not being able to put a lap together in Q3 was probably the biggest disappointment.
Right, because he was moving up through the field throughout the race, anyways.
Yeah, but definitely had pace in the car, so would have been probably a little. Well, I don't know about more entertaining, but I mean, like it would have made the race for the win probably a little bit more interesting. Had he not qualified down in 10th.
Yeah.
But I mean, McLaren on a weekend where they need to perform in order to stay in the title fight for the Drivers' Championship, they did not, and they come out of Vegas also not only losing the Drivers' Championship but losing points to Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship as well.
Right?
Yep.
I'm telling you, Ferrari's going to somehow sneak this Constructors' Championship.
I would find it absolutely hilarious if Ferrari could pull it off.
Well, that's yeah. If they can just keep their teammates from,
I think regardless.
Are they just going to let him race?
Well, at this point, probably. But regardless of the drivers' relationships with one another, it really comes down to whether Ferrari as a team can hit the right setup. Because it seems like they have these issues regardless of if they're winning or if they're the fourth best team on track.
Gotcha.
So I don't think there's with Sainz being on his way out, he has nothing really to prove at this point, or any reason to sit back and whatnot. And when Leclerc is dropping like a rock from pace, I mean, after that first stint, I don't really take I don't take any pity on him, because it's like, dude, you were slow. Like, Sainz is just faster than you right now.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Which I wonder what's going to happen with Qatar and Abu Dhabi with the two of them.
That's my only concern. Hopefully they don't get into it and they just sort of realize that there's a much bigger thing at stake. And I'm sure there's some kind of performance clause in their contracts if they win the Constructors' Championship. So they should keep that mindful.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is Fred will sit them down,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think the most volatile one of the two is definitely Leclerc right now. I think he's feeling the pressure
Yeah.
that first off, I mean, he's not that much quicker than Carlos, and secondly, for much of the year, Carlos has actually been the better driver. But I think he's feeling the pressure that next year he's not going to be the number one guy.
I don't think either of them are going to be the number one.
Well, I think Lewis is going to be number one. He's the 7-time champion. He's going to be number one.
Okay, but based on salary, maybe. But I'm talking about.
Wait a minute. Based on how many world championships?
No, well, Sean, I don't think they are going to play that at all. They're just going to have at it, or hey, maybe.
No.
Hey, listen, maybe Ferrari will continue inventing when Sainz is gone, right?
What do you mean inventing?
Silverstone joke on the restart where he said to the team, "Stop inventing."
Oh,
and he got the win.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think Charles is sort of starting to feel it. So that's just my opinion.
Well, wouldn't it be something if Lewis Hamilton wins the Drivers' Championship in a Ferrari?
I can see it happening
next to Leclerc.
I can see it happening.
Yeah, I do too.
It wouldn't shock me if he won it next year.
I mean, even more so. It looks more and more like the right move for Lewis.
I think. Yeah, I don't think
if Ferrari does come out of these last two races with the constructors' title in hand.
Do you know this I found troubling for Mercedes, that they actually use the Aston Martin wind tunnel. They don't have a Mercedes wind tunnel.
In
Brackley.
Do they have one in Germany?
Yeah, but the cars are in England.
No, I know that, which is okay. But I mean, I'm sure that, or I shouldn't say it. I'm sure. I would imagine that they're allowed to do that because of a deal that they make with supplying the engines.
Oh, no, I do. But it's just like, but the Aston Martins has their own wind tunnel and they're not that good.
Yeah.
And like people are going, oh, Newey's going to be there next year. And I'm going, yeah, but the car's already built.
Yeah.
He's there to build the 26 car. He's not there to build the 25 car.
Right. And that's the misconception that everyone has too. Like
right.
His effect on the team is a year later.
Right. I mean, and he is technically he can't start until when is he allowed to start? Like January?
Until the end of next year. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably January 1st. I would just call it a new year at this point.
It's not. Yeah, he didn't. Right. It's just funny, Yeah. I mean, people are like, "Oh, he's going there." I'm going, "Yeah, he's going there," but anyways,
right.
Just I don't know. I think Lewis definitely deserved the driver of the race.
Yeah, no question about that.
And I mean, Max for just perseverance and once again just willing that car and getting that car to a decent qualifying position, but that managed to have a decent race and then to basically secure the championship. I mean, does say a lot.
Oh yeah, and he's not had the strongest car
since halfway at least.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, and I mean thankfully it rained for him in Brazil, so that was nice. But I mean he's been, like you said, just wheeling that car up the grid to outpace where the car probably actually is. But it's great that he's been able to get the results, but then also it's they've been fortunate enough that the other teams have been fighting enough where it's not they can be within reach of one of the teams and be okay because it's not like McLaren has just been dominating every single race. Like Ferrari dominated the last couple of races, and then Mercedes won this last one. So I mean, like everyone's been trading off who's been the best. Race to race, which is very exciting. Like that's something that shouldn't go unnoticed either. Like, yeah, last season was very historic in terms of just the Red Bull domination and one race away from being perfect throughout the year. But I mean, this year is very much it is very interesting based off probably the 2012 season, where you just have multiple race winners over the course of a season. So I mean, it's if this continues into 25, like how we're all hoping it will, next year should really be an interesting title fight, and hopefully it will come down to like 3 or 4 drivers towards the end of the season. I mean, that would be really exciting.
Yeah, it would be definitely.
But then again,
it has been quite competitive this year, to our surprise, I would say.
Yeah.
Where 4 teams realistically can win a race. I guess depending on the track.
I'll actually go to the
3
point
teams
where
and one driver.
Yeah, I thought the last race that we had was 3 teams. I thought the Brazil race was probably the race of the year so far.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I mean, Max storming through the field.
Yep.
And the Alpines leading and kind of on a redemption tour in the wet. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty. From that perspective, I thought that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those probably one of his bigger victories. I think he's scored to date. Of course, Abu Dhabi 2021 being the best one, right? But
controversy.
Yeah,
controversy.
I know. We're still talking about Abu Dhabi 2021.
Well, Sky Sports is.
Hey, Nate, guess what? You brought it up.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, Sky Sports still is.
I mean, I'm ranking victories here. That's all.
Yeah.
Too good.
All right. Any other takeaways from this weekend?
I got one. Is Vegas here to stay?
Oh, yes. Actually, I did look this up.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Do we want to talk about that?
I have some numbers
right now, or do we want to just take a look at just real quick? Do you want to take a look at the constructor standings?
Oh yeah. Because that's a champion's crown.
Champion's crown. I really don't care who. No one cares who finishes second.
Yeah,
unless you're
Lando.
Well,
hey, good one. Yeah. Here I'm taking a guess at who's going to finish second, right? It's not me this time. It is Lando probably, but we'll see.
Nate knows that feeling all too well.
All
right. So McLaren is leading with 608. Ferrari, 2 races to go, and 24 points behind. Could be tough.
But Qatar.
Let's put it this way.
Race too.
You're right.
There you go,
okay,
Sean.
so let's put it this way. If there's perchance a double DNF by McLaren, that opens the door wide.
Oh, wide open.
All right. Or even a double DNF in the sprint could open the door too.
Yeah, it could.
Only 19 points, or I guess 20.
Well, what if Ferrari?
It would be 15 points because it would be 8 and 7 if say Ferrari win 1-2 at Qatar.
Right.
Oh, right.
So I mean that's that cuts your lead down to 13. That's doable.
That's doable. All right. Is there a sprint race in Abu Dhabi?
No. Qatar's
I
the last
doubt
one.
it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
we can't have double controversy.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Red Bull has third sewed up. Mercedes has fourth.
How far back is Red Bull from Ferrari?
29. And don't forget, Red Bull's a one-car team right now.
Well, but Qatar is in the Middle East, and their second driver tends to do well in those tracks.
Oh, he's going to show up?
He might.
All right. All right. Aston Martin looks like they have a lock on fifth.
Yep.
There's a 36 point between them and Haas. It's 6, 7, and 8 that are up for grab. Haas with 50, Alpine with 49, and RB with 46. So this Vegas disaster really kind of hurt Alpine this weekend.
Well, I mean, it was Nico Hulkenberg that got the 2 points.
Right, but Alpine scored no points though.
Yeah, right. But I mean, let's be real. Without that rain race in Brazil, Alpine is still 9th in the standings.
Yeah.
So like they're not going anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
So right now, whether they finish 7th or 8th, it's still better than 9th for them.
And RB did not have a great weekend either.
No.
So.
Well, Yuki finished ahead of Liam Lawson again.
Yeah.
Yeah, convincingly too.
Yeah.
I mean, the only and at this point, it's like, Yuki is expected to do that. I would say, and it's not trying to make an excuse either for the gap. I mean, like if he wants the Red Bull seat, he has to prove it. And has he? The question now is, has he done enough?
I mean, he's proving it now. I mean, there's 2 races left. I mean, and even Yuki's one of his best tracks is actually Abu Dhabi, where he scored a career best 4th place finish.
Yeah.
So something to keep an eye on.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right. You want to talk about Vegas?
Yes.
Fan turnout.
All right, Christian, what are your stats going to talk about?
Okay.
Your numbers.
I have a report from their Vegas local news saying that F1 reported that just over 300,000 people attended the race over the weekend.
I saw the same thing.
But the Vegas Metro Police are saying that only about 139,000 attended the race. So half, more than half.
Less than 150.
Yeah, over the 3 days.
Over 2 days.
And they went a little bit more in detail where it basically said that 32,000 attended Thursday night, 50,000 on Friday night, and 57,000 were on Saturday.
So essentially, they get this each night. They get the size crowd that the Raiders. How big's the Raiders stadium?
Let's look it up.
I mean, essentially, they got a Raiders game crowd.
Their Allegiant Stadium capacity is 65,000.
Okay.
And it's
double.
It's expandable to 71.
Yeah, that's for concerts and stuff.
Probably.
Yeah, I and the thing, right? All right, Nate. Why don't you have your say?
Well, think about it, right? I mean, you saw it all over social media. There was a lot of fans at the track, but But one thing I noticed was it was fans taking videos of the cars driving by, but you saw in the stands that there was all these empty gaps.
Right.
in the grandstand, and this is not in practice qualifying, which I would say can be expected. But on race day, it's a shocking problem because that's where the big show is. You need to put butts in the seats, and if a project that you're working on isn't working, maybe go to a circuit that already exists and not waste all this money and putting building a track yourself on a street circuit. And I think I can speak for a lot of people on this. I'm tired of all these street circuits. Enough's enough. You tried your stint at Las Vegas. I think it's played its course at this point. Because here it is. They can now say that Las Vegas has crowned an F1 world champion.
Right, but here's the thing. Las Vegas, F1 is the promoter of the race. F1 bought the land and all of the space where the paddock area is. So all that structure and infrastructure that's on where the pits are, where the paddock is, where the corporate suites are, that's all owned by F1.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Yes.
And the deal that they've signed is for 10 years. So we have another
10 years.
We have another eight years of this too.
Right.
They need to lower
problem. The thing is, it's like they'll claim, well, our they're going to go, well, our corporate and VIP suites, sold out. Yeah, but see, this is the whole problem. The bigger problem I fear, and I think ESPN's starting to allude to this, is how much longer are people going to put up with a race starting at 10 o'clock on the West Coast, 1 a.m. on the East Coast, meaning the North American market. I don't care about the rest of the world. Okay. Yeah. This race, because Austin and Miami start in prime time in Europe. Mm-hmm. This race starts it's payback to them, They got to get up early to see the race. The Far East and Australia is the only place that sees this race at a normal time, and good for them because they get punished all the time.
Yeah.
So my question is, how much longer is that going to take or be put up with? I think also and we'll get to this in a second, with the announcement of a new team joining, that is going to be it's going to be the American team. As much as Haas is American, anyways. If you're going to grow the sport here, what do you need to go back to? What's missing from the TV coverage? And Nate, don't say Lee Diffie.
Your own American broadcasters.
You got it.
That's right.
Yep.
Why doesn't ESPN put something together?
Because like everything else in motorsports now, it's cheaper for them to hire, to subscribe to Sky Sports and get their coverage, which is I'm going to be blatantly honest, it's British centric. I mean, everybody that gets that coverage does the same thing, and I don't understand how broadcast companies put up with broadcast companies put up with that, because I don't want that, So the question is, if you're going to have this influx of Americans, and then potentially with an American driver or two, what,
right?
We need, it's going to demand that. I mean, back in the day, yes, they used to go to, at Speed, they cover the race from Charlotte. I mean, I don't have a problem with them covering the race from Charlotte, but as long as they go live with the U.S. races, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Or we had to have a pitch past paddock guy there. That's fine. But I think you got to start. I think they need to bring the American flavor back into it.
Well, right. I mean, because it's more American involved than it's ever been before. The only thing missing is having an American driver on the grid.
Right.
Worthwhile.
So, if we get somebody and the kicker is out of this whole Vegas weekend, guess who the PA guy was?
Who, Sean?
It was Bob Varsha.
I know.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Wow.
So I'm not saying bring Bob back or whatever, but
Or
bring
Steve
Bob back.
And Dave Hobbs.
I mean, but those guys are all three of them are getting older. It's whether or not they want to come back, that'd be great. I think we all would like it, but there is a budding star in North American motorsports TV that could be put out there, and that's Hinch.
Yeah,
you bring him in. He's got great cachet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sky Sports sees that as well.
Why?
I'm sorry, F1 TV. I'm
right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. How dare you say Sky Sports?
Yeah, I believe it was a complete brain fart.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one thing on Sky Sports. Well, there's two things on Sky Sports that I enjoy. I enjoy Karun, and I enjoy Jensen.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The rest of the lot there, it's like a yuck fest. And I'm going to take Martin out of it because I think he just gets trapped in this whole thing. So I'll take Martin, Jensen, and Karun out of it. And they're all. And what's the common denominator there? They're all drivers.
Right.
Okay. But the rest of it is just a giant yuck fest, and it's not even and it's all it's all bubbly and champagne when a British driver wins, but when the Brits don't have a good day, it's like it's like a funeral. You got Ted moping around in the paddock, and everyone else thinking they lost World War II.
Oh gosh, it's true.
And to some degree, F1 TV is getting that way too, and it's rather disappointing.
Yeah.
So the only time, on F1 TV, my feeling, I like Alex Jakes as the commentator, but I think at times this year he's getting a little too nationalistic with it. Jolene's pretty normal. I mean, neutral. Hinch, I like. And then, Christian, there's how can you deny David Valsecchi?
I know. He needs... He has to be there. That is the passion that every motorsports fan brings to or can bring to the table. I would watch him 1,000 times.
Half the time I can't understand what he's talking about, but then I figure it out, and it's awesome.
Exactly. That's all that. And he still gets amped up as the cars go by. He's like, oh, and here comes Carlos. No. Listen. Car goes by. And he just stands there and watches it. He doesn't say anything. He just lets the sport do the talking for you.
And then he gets all amped up about something that happened after.
Right.
Hey, I mean that's I agree. I 100% agree.
He sits there and watches the car go through. And he's like, "Oh, this is cool." And there's a very scary moment, I could watch him
all day.
Yeah.
I loved it when he was doing Formula 2 and Formula 3.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Especially when
it was half crashing into each other.
Yeah. Especially when all the drivers there were a little bit more crash prone.
Anyways, but Nate, I think it's a great point that you bring up about this. I mean, how much, outside of the fact that, F1 is the promoter and everything, but really, they got to start looking at this.
Yeah, because it's an increasing problem.
And if go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Can you possibly bring? I mean, it was nice that they fought the Ferrari Formula, the Ferrari Challenge there. They got to bring some big name support series there.
Yeah. Just to touch on the Ferrari Challenge races, if anyone hasn't seen those races, they're up on YouTube. You can get both of them. I think it's just like Ferrari Challenge's YouTube page that they were on, but they have both both races up there, and I thought they were great to watch. Pretty much every single one of them was more or less an amateur driver, except for like the four um,
Did they have like pro drivers or
guys.
silver drivers?
It was like four pro guys, but I more like pro ams. But like after
Yeah.
everyone got out of the car, like these were not your
Yeah. It's like Ben Keating getting out of the car.
Yeah, they were all your amateur drivers, and everyone was like high fiving, congratulating one another,
Had a blast.
having a good time. Yeah, having a good. It was fun to watch.
It was fun.
Watch that.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is the racing.
I saw that, Christian.
pretty much consisted of just dive bombing one another, and it would be guys coming back like 100 meters.
Yeah.
Just putting it in there, sticking their nose in.
Fantastic.
It was great.
Hey, what if you were going to bring a support series there? What would you bring?
I mean, there's a few that come to mind, but it's a bit ambitious, and it's failed before. Because Champ Car used to go to Vegas during the day, and they had a race, and I think Will Power won, and with Team Australia.
Yeah.
So for starters, this was I think 2000.
So what you're saying, if I get this right, is let's have a weekend of open wheel racing. Let's put aside the difference between IndyCar and F1. Okay, there's this, and let's put aside who can drive things better. Okay, and let's just watch the races, and let's bring fan interest up and TV interest through the roof. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because you can do a lot. You could bring Porsche Cup, which I mean is probably the same idea
they do that in Europe.
Which fine, but I think what you're trying to get at is, I don't know. For me, I would want either like multi-class sports car racing, or
the only thing with a multi-class with an IMSA race, it's got to be 2 hours and something, and I don't think that really fits into their schedule.
No, and that's where it wouldn't work.
Right. Whereas in IMSA with a 2 hour race, it's brutal. It's not on a street track. It's no fun.
Yeah.
Right.
If it was IndyCar for 2 hours, I have no problem with it. I think that would help break the barrier down between Formula One and IndyCar, honestly.
Right, because the last time you can really compare both cars at a track or a venue of some sort is Coda.
Or Montreal. Didn't they run in Montreal?
Yeah,
IndyCar?
Yep.
A while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, but
yeah, Watkins Glen back in the day they did run. They ran after 78 when what was the last race? 79, I believe, was the last. 79 or 80 was the last race at Watkins Glen in Formula One. I'm just Nate. I again that's thinking outside the box. That's where you got to go with this.
Right, because what you're trying now is flat out not working. So now, how do you kind of reinvent the box?
Right, and the thing with Coda, what they've done they've made it into an all weekend event with the support races, with the concerts, things like that. Whereas Miami, Miami has what? Formula
Porsche
2?
Cup, Formula 2.
No.
And don't they have
Formula 3?
It's Porsche Cup and F1 Academy.
Oh, an F1 Academy.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
And then I would assume a car corral thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like a work in progress, But Sean, there's already 2 racing series with F1.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right.
I think next year F1 Academy is slated to go to Vegas.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I mean, so that's one other series to just have some mod track action.
Yeah. No, they are. Okay. All right. Big news in Formula One. Cadillac.
Not Andretti.
GM. Okay.
All they had to do to get in
was not have Michael involved because
was
apparently
not
Michael
involved.
they didn't like Michael's abrasiveness. It appears.
Unreal.
Anyways, but whatever.
They keep Mario on the board of directors.
Right. It's neither here nor there. It's fine. It's still going to be Andretti's. Everything's Andretti. It's just the name of the team is not Andretti.
Yeah.
You know, maybe had they gone in and with it, maybe from the get-go, if they had gone in and said it's GM Racing and it's going to be run by the Andretti Racing team, you know, like Porsche or World Endurance and IMSA cars are run by Penske. You know,
right.
Maybe I had done that instead of having Andretti Cadillac or GM, you know.
But that's what it is with Porsche Penske anyway. It's Porsche Penske. It's just Cadillac Andretti.
Yeah, but it's just I don't think, and honestly, I think they want to get away from Haas. I'll be honest with you. They want it manufacturer driven. That's what they want.
But you have that.
I get it.
It's still.
Oh well, you know what?
This is my point.
Good point because Red Bull. What are they? They're an energy drink.
Yeah.
Not even. Yeah. Right.
And who happens to build
and
their
what?
own car?
Well, that wasn't there a power unit before powered by a watch company, or what was Tag Heuer?
No, it was a Porsche motor badge as a Tag Heuer. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And go back to the days when McLaren had tag engines too. It was the same thing. Yeah. No, it's I get it. All right, but the good thing is they're on the grid. They'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they'll probably the latest news is that they're going to push for using Ferrari motors. So Mario is off to Maranello to the Hawk.
Yeah. And then hopefully in 26 they'll bring.
No, 28 the GM motor.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hopefully in 28 they'll just bring the the
IMSA motor?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That'd be the best sounding F1.
Oh my god.
I think everyone's ever heard.
It would be good. The good thing is there is a car built. Mm-hmm. It's in the wind tunnel. It's they're at that point, so
yeah.
Okay.
He asked, are they going to go on a date after the game? Like Izzo. he's just not buying what the lady official wants to tell him.
No, this game,
it's getting a little out of hand. Yeah. But it's just kind of funny watching Izzo and her kind of get into it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm excited. Now the question is, where are we going to go for drivers?
I already have kind of an answer, which is going to sound like.
I know who you're going to say.
I think
I know who you.
I think you know one of the two.
Can I take a guess before you
go right ahead, and I'll tell you exactly who.
I am seriously going to guess Will Power.
No. I'll tell you who I was going to go with, because if I'm Andretti, I would want an experienced driver and maybe a young American driver to kind of boost that morale within the American team.
Well, can I just say something? My thought on an American driver is it needs to be a named American driver.
Yeah, that's right. And so what I'm thinking is I can't believe I'm saying this because I've been kind of harsh to Daniel Ricciardo, but I think he may be one of the drivers that would make sense to hire. and then Colton Herta.
Okay.
Then again, yeah.
Okay.
So
No,
I mean,
I like the Ricardo pick. I was honestly, the reason I said Will Power is because I don't know. I was just throwing it out there. Just thought you might have been going off the rails there.
no.
I do not want a ride buyer in that ride. I don't want one. All right.
Well,
so I don't.
I can't imagine.
So that is, I don't want Logan Sargent.
No, he's already been there, done that.
If he comes within a sniff of that, I'm out of here. Okay,
that'd be the biggest for them to.
Wow,
it would be.
Mark that time.
Yep, mark.
No, but it would be. Come on, like you already got him in F1, and he got ousted out by Williams, and then you're introducing a new team, and then you screw it over by putting. I'm sorry. So there's no way that's going to happen.
No, I don't think Sargent's on the radar.
I don't think he is either. I'm assuming. Just let me just go down this route. Because Gamebridge and Group 1001 there, and their owner is the money behind that, along with a couple large American hedge funds, bigger than what's involved with an F1 right now. I have to assume. And I believe he has his super license. I believe Colton has a super license.
Right.
Okay. So I have to think Colton's at the top of the list. Okay. Now we're 2 years out, right? Or a year out, right? And granted, they utilize Honda Motors, right? In IndyCar, right?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have to think.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, you do know where I'm going with this. If I was going to go the All-American in on this, I'm going Herter and Newgarden. Because Newgarden does have a super license.
Well, yeah, he's done everything: IndyCar Championship, Indy 500.
Well, that's qualified. It qualifies him for that.
Yeah.
So let's just say he goes. Let's say either he or Herter wins the 500 this year. This is Newgarden's third. This is Herter's first. Milestone wins. One of them. Say Herter wins the championship. Young enough to go to Formula One for 5, 6, 7 years, or depending on how long you can keep the career going, and still come back to IndyCar.
Right.
Okay. Newgarden is, I think Newgarden's at his peak right now, and I think it would be a great if he was. Let's just say he wins the 500. He's got 3. Okay, you go now, but here's the kicker. Now there's no conflict with Monaco and the Indy 500.
Yeah.
So you can come back and do the one-off like Mario used to do when he was in Formula One. But what I don't want to see a ride buyer, and I don't want to see, I'm sorry. I get there's kids in F2, whatever, F3 that are American, but it's let's put some name in that brings sponsorship to the team,
right?
And who aren't slouches behind the wheel.
And there's a few of those out there.
Yeah. But again, Danny Rick is a good pick, Nate. I like that.
Yeah. Because, I figure if you're going to go with someone that has been in F1, my 2 first picks would be Danny Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas as one driver. And then the other driver is, an IndyCar driver. And probably along the lines of someone that's in Andretti.
Well, I would say it's going to definitely, out of the Andretti stable, it's going to be Herter.
Right.
You know, I did see somebody today post, "Oh, all the Cadillac sports car drivers are going to be putting in for it." No,
Oh,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. That's just it's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Not
Because
even
you
for
can
a
make a
second.
case. You can make a case for Newgarden through the GM ties with Penske.
Yeah.
Which, okay, sure, but he does have the super license.
Yeah.
And I get where you're coming from with Justin
you know
Newgarden,
who else
'cause
supposedly has a super license? Is Ricky Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. I did know that, but I thought it was just the three: Logan Sargent, Ricky Taylor, Justin Newgarden. I'm not sure if Colton Herta has those super licenses.
Somebody had posted.
Herta does. I'm looking at it right now. He does.
He does.
He is.
He
I'm
qualified
sorry.
this
He's
year.
eligible, yes, for a super license.
Right,
Over,
which means
how
he can
about that?
apply for
have
it
to,
and pay for it.
You have to, but my thing is, I don't know how long you get your super
Right.
license for.
Yeah.
So if he's not going to be a driver until 26, right, and his super license for 25 runs out at the end of 25, right, he has to perform
This year
as well. So he
Yeah.
needs to be. So currently, the way it works is your best 3 seasons of the last 4 that you compete in get counted. So for Colton, he's finished since in 21, 22, 23, and 24. He's finished 5th, 10th, 10th, and 2nd. So both 22 and 23 being 10th, you get 1 point.
Right. So what he needs
after
to
this
do
year, he's dropping his 5th place from 21 will not be eligible. So he has to make up the difference of 8 points. So he has to finish 5th this year in IndyCar, or I'm sorry, this upcoming year in IndyCar.
He's got to finish in the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which he finished 2nd this year. So.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that I think Nate, like I said, I think that's good. I think you're going to see Bottas to Mercedes as the reserve driver.
Yeah.
Because the more and more I see about this, the more and more Kimi Antonelli's not going to last.
Well,
Sean has a point.
Does Antonelli not last, or does Russell not last?
No, he doesn't last. Russell's out of contract at the end of the year. Russell's out of contract at the end of 25. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to re-up it. That's why they keep talking about Max. I don't think Max. I think if Max is going anywhere, he's going to Aston Martin
with Fred.
Well, somebody, whether it's Fred, but it won't be Lance, and it's going to be with Adrian. That's why.
I wonder if in the contract, Adrian's like, all right, 2025 is Lance Stroll's last year because I'm not building a car for that guy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh, I know.
I mean, the other thing too is in 26, Aston Martin's going to be Honda. So are they going to have to fall in line with the rule of having a Japanese driver behind the wheel in that team?
So, let's say, what if Fred's had enough?
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Yeah, but
I mean that's probably the more likely scenario that no one wants to bring up.
No one wants to bring up. But who's driven for Honda for the most amount of time right now? Max.
Yeah.
Max. Okay, so do they want to have Max? That's like having Senna drive for you.
Right.
I'm not comparing Max and Senna. I'm just saying that's the kind of
brand loyalty you're talking about.
Yeah. Brand loyalty, right.
Yeah.
So, Nate, great point. I honestly, I can't see that kid lasting much longer. I mean, he's unreal. I mean, and the other point that was coming up this weekend has been brought up the last couple of days is Perez fate is going to be sealed after Abu Dhabi. There is a stakeholders meeting with Red Bull after the race to discuss that.
But They just announced all these sponsors with him in it.
No. But there's a buyout in it, so they can buy it. They can buy him out.
Okay.
So they may, but the question is whether or not they're going to pour more money. It means more money from Red Bull's going to have to go in it, or this. Look, the Calipino story is really nice, but what's happened over the last 3 races?
He's destroyed a car.
Yeah. He's Logan Sargent. All right.
Whoa. No. He's destroyed 1 car. Logan Sargent's destroyed 50 cars.
Nate, I think he's destroyed 3 cars in total. Yeah. Calipento.
No, I know, but the latest one is the worst one.
Christian, no, the one in Brazil was bad too.
That was pretty bad.
He did Brazil. He did Vegas.
Yeah, how much? Do you have the World Destructors Championship up yet?
Oh no, I don't. Not yet.
I'll
pull that up in a second.
And I know we're getting close to our time.
Yeah.
As our basement races have to scurry off. All right. Just real quick, IMSA news. Welcome to GTD Pro, Robert Wickens.
Yeah, he's doing the sprint races, right?
He will be doing 5 sprint races with DXDT in their Corvette GT3, with this hybrid Bosch system that helps him drive. That the Pratt & Miller guys. Oh, geez, I'm shocked. Pratt & Miller actually helped install too. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So, looking forward. Really cool. Yeah, they haven't named a co-driver for him yet, but very excited for that. That's really cool. That's really, he's done really well in TCR, so good for him.
Yeah, won a championship, and
excuse me, sorry, couldn't hit the mute button there.
No, you're good. He's won a championship, and I mean, he's not lacking skill.
Nope, he's still got that competitive drive. I just think it's an awesome story.
Mm-hmm.
Very Zanardi-like.
Yes.
All right.
So that'd be cool.
Let's move on to a return to racing for Nate Laverdure.
Oh yes. Yep. So I was given the great opportunity by Alec Vidal and Touring Car Championship. Alec puts together this go-kart for some people to rent it, and no one rented out the final round of the Northeast Karting Championship, and I was racing in KA 100 senior class, and it was really cool to get back behind the wheel because it's been a little more than a year since I last did what was last year the 12th round at Englishtown, and this was quote the turkey race, the 13th round of the Northeast Karting Challenge. Gotcha. And I Saturday I got some practice time in, did a few sessions, and Sunday came and 2 warm-ups. We took advantage of those. Did qualified second.
Nice.
Yep. Oh yeah. And
how many
so
cars?
Then, in class or total?
Well, in your race.
Yeah. So
no, don't worry about class. In the race.
So in the race, it was I want to say it was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that many, but it was it was cool to be back on track, and then we got onto the final. So I'm sorry, pre-final, start second, finish second, and then in the final, I did drop to third, which was still cool. Of all the drivers on track, I got up to third, and I felt to third. It's correct English, and was able to finish the race, and so that I just enjoyed my time there. And
congratulations!
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you know what third place? You know what third place got?
Tin of cookies.
Yeah, Danish cookies. Tis the season, right? So I was pretty excited about that. It was, if you ask me, it's better than any turkey or pumpkin pie that they were giving out. But
You didn't get that tin of cookies while you were on the ship and then bring them over and then use that as a prize to give yourself before the
no,
race.
no. Listen,
Okay.
I would have had to find if I, you know, it was
You know
scavenger
what?
hunt, right?
Hey,
Like which
you know what?
container is it in? Like,
You know what the sad part was? Like I saw you post, I got a podium finish, and you were like, yeah, finished on the podium. And then I said, yeah, and you got a box of cookies. I noticed the cookies right away. I was just like, oh, that's just pathetic. I shouldn't have done that.
well, yeah. I mean, they you know, I guess
No, it's fine.
even their trophies are just like little plastic things, which is
no, I know. I just was laughing. It was like, oh, you got a tin of cookies.
like just go to any grocery store like 10 minutes down the road or whatever. And there you go.
Not like the days at F1 Boston when you got those ginormous. Oh wait, you didn't get one of those.
Oh, no, but always got those.
Somebody here cleaned up on those one year.
Yeah, and the go-karting trophies, like of the actual go-kart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No. The paperweights.
oh yeah, exactly. The paperweights and
I have
what is it?
downstairs.
The bookshelf.
I have downstairs in my basement.
I know. I have like a pile of those. It's probably like Lewis Hamilton with the pile of tires at his house or something.
Every time I move that case they're in, it's like
It
I
gets
seriously
heavier.
I'm gonna throw my back out or get a hernia. I mean, it's like the things are huge, like they weigh a ton.
They do. Oh yeah. It's no joke.
But they weren't the ginormous ones that Christian cleaned up on one year.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Those are good. Just to get back to the World Destructors.
Well, congratulations, Nate, and great to have you back behind the wheel.
Yeah, great
Thank
stuff.
you. Yeah,
and that's not of a ship either.
Yeah, not of a ship. Yeah, right. They're not the helmsman.
The helmsman, right?
Right. So
just to circle back on the World Destructors Championship, Williams has 3 drivers in the top 6.
Oh.
And it's less than 100,000 away from being top 5. Williams is leading the constructors part of this
in the destructors.
destructors by twice the amount over Red Bull.
Yeah.
And so Sergio Perez, you mean?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Funnily enough, the drivers' championship between the contribution to the drivers' championship and the destructors' championship is actually inverse at the Red Bull camp. It's yeah.
Yeah, Max got the points and he's like dead last in crash damage.
More or less, yeah. Sergio is still leading the Destructors Drivers Championship, only by 200,000 over Alex Albon.
Oh.
In third place is George Russell.
Yep.
Fourth, and
Sargent
is Sargent. So that number can't move anymore unless he gets called back for some reason. In fifth is Carlos Sainz. I forget which weekends he. Let's see.
And then Calapinto, I would guess, is sixth.
Baku, Singapore, and Brazil was where Carlos racked up his majority of his issues. Calapinto was sixth. So Brazil, Vegas, and Baku was where he racked up damage. And that's 200,000. That covers Sargent, Sainz, and Colapinto. Russell is 300,000 clear of Sargent.
What's the grand total on Calipento right now?
Okay, so Sergio is leading the way at 4.8 mil. Colapinto is in 6 with 2.7. He's basically 2.8. Sargent is at 3 flat. Russell is 3.3. And Albon is 4.6. And even though he blew a motor at Vegas, Pierre Gasly is still at 0 on the season. Because I think they can still dip into their previous engines for the year. Like, they haven't used another engine or anything like that. So it doesn't go against him. Because that was the... that I thought was more of the broadcaster's curse on Gasly, was that they mentioned, oh, hey, you haven't had any damage this year on the car. Like, none. And Gasly was like, yeah, I want to keep it that way.
Hey, Christian, I'm sorry, my headphones dropped for a second. What was the damage on Calipinto?
Sorry, Colapinto was 2.8 flat.
And how many races has he done?
What, 6 or something?
So
he hasn't done that much.
I think he hopped in since Baku. So 2, 4, 6 now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's almost 500G a race.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Brazil was
terrible.
That would
Brazil between just between the last
does this include
races.
Does this include Vegas?
Yes, this includes Vegas.
Oh,
Vegas, he put up almost 1 mil in damage. Brazil was almost 1.5.
Wait.
Oh,
yeah.
Sean, this is terrible. This is not looking good, man.
Look, I mean, the kid is smart. Everyone says that, but I mean, he destroys cars.
Well, okay. So to be fair, up until these last 2 races, he's had 4 pretty relatively clean races. All right.
I agree, but $3 million bucks. I mean, this is Lance Stroll level.
I get it, but Sainz up until Baku himself was pretty much down in the bottom 5. Like, didn't really do too much, and then he's between Baku, Singapore, and Brazil. He's racked up majority of it. So I mean, yeah, everyone can have an off, but I mean, if you're gonna go with just the new guys alone, I mean, Lawson is right down at the bottom, and he's the closest to the amount of races that Colapinto has in this thing.
Jesus!
So,
all right. Let's move on to our picks so we can wrap this up.
Yes. All right.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. All right. I'm gonna go. I think Carlos is gonna build on it. I'm gonna go Carlos. I'm gonna go Lewis, and I'm gonna go Charles. My dark horse will be. I'm going back on the Yuki train.
Okay.
Very well. I understand where you're coming from, but there's something terrible in me that wants to pick Charles Leclerc to win.
Okay. Yep.
So I think Charles Leclerc is going to win.
Yep.
Let's see. Lando's going to come in second, and then Lewis Hamilton will come in third. And your dark horse, it's going to be. Hey, let's bring the Haas back. I'm going to go with Kevin Magnussen.
K-Mag. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say Max wins.
Oh.
And I think it'll be a double podium from McLaren. So Norris, and then Piastri.
All right. So you're saying a bad weekend for Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I really see McLaren falling foul is if they get into each other. I think the dark horse for this weekend. I think Alpine bounces back, and Ocon will be the one to watch.
All right.
Very nice.
All right. Well, on that note,
good night.
Thank you guys for listening to the Red Mist Podcast, hosted by Christian Abbott, Sean Abbott, and Nathan Lavin. It's produced by Christian Abbott, and music is by Alex Zwart and Harrison Tate.